Hello, my name is Thaxxter, and this is a breakdown of my new single called Mind What You See. The song is about basically trying to navigate through difficult situations, dealing with the pandemic. Really did take it took a lot out of people. I lost jobs, I lost a few friendships, a lot of my family relationships became very strained, and not being able to just like face problems head on, it put me in positions where I had to literally just sit down and find my own way of having to deal with that. So a lot of the times I just sort of found myself saying, you know what, fine, I'll take it out of my own hands and I'll just sort of sit back and do what I can do. And the only thing that I could do was literally just put pen to paper, just creating different sort of artistic outlets.
My mind's been wandering since about 5 years ago.
For me, as a human being, a male, I find it very difficult to put words into like how I feel. I struggle to sort of talk about my emotions and all that sort of shit. So when I sat down to write Mind What You See, I really struggled. When I'm actually trying to like outlet what I'm trying to say, it doesn't really correlate in the words that I use. I mean, this is what I mean. It just doesn't make sense. Let me try it again, yeah? So, I find it, okay, shit. Let me just start that again. What I'm trying to say in here just doesn't come out. The sounds, what I was trying to explain, wasn't coming from the chords I was creating. So that was why I took the initiative to actually just start searching for samples. When I came across the first synth, it just clicked with me, just because like it sounded like a little bit messy, you know. It was perfect because it didn't sound happy and it didn't sound sad. It just sort of sounded like a mess in a sense, but like a pretty mess. After deciding on the synth I was going to use, I then moved on to my drum beat. I wanted it to be quite simple, so I just stuck with a kick and a snare. After that, I put the hi-hats on every 2, just to give the song a bit more energy. The first verse for me is all about, contemplating different steps, different ways to navigate through the different options. We get to the point in the chorus, which is Mind What You See. And at this point, it's sort of just saying, you know what, I've made this decision. If it's the wrong decision, it's the wrong decision, but you know what, I'm just gonna stick to it. And if it blows up in my face, then that's fine. I've decided to do it now. And we get to the chorus of Mind What You See. The meaning behind Mind What You See is literally mind your business. Don't be worrying about what I'm trying to do, because the only thing what you need to know is that I'm trying. And even if my trying seems like the wrong steps to you, it doesn't matter, because if it's helping me, it's helping me. And that is it. Won't you mind what you see? Won't you mind what you see? Won't you? One of my biggest inspirations is Jacob Collier. I love the way he sort of explores ideas through harmony. When you listen to one of his songs, he could be speaking a different language, but you'd still understand what he means just because of the aesthetic that he creates within his music. And that was the whole idea behind the chorus. I wanted it to create a whole aesthetic. So when I was creating my harmonies, I wasn't basing it on theory, I was just basing it on sound. And I basically just layered it up until I created this. I keep falling apart. final verse had a lot to do with discovery and come to terms with what has been and what is to come. I feel when I was writing this song, I discovered that there is always an end to a bad situation. As human beings, when we see a problem, we know that behind that problem is another problem, and behind that problem is another problem, and then we finally get to the root of what that problem is. And even when we've got to the root of what the problem is, we realise that we can't even solve it a lot of the time. Being in this pandemic, being in this situation, I realised like, shit, this situation is actually out of your hands. So you know what, you might as well just enjoy what you can enjoy. You might as well start changing the things that you can change within your life. I want to do music, so therefore the whole point of the song is it's just trying to find opportunities from shit situations. You know what, this whole process it's been a lot, honestly. It's been difficult. You know what I mean? I've been working on a whole album for about 3 years now, and you know what? I think it's time to just stop holding myself back, and honestly, it's the first time I've felt confident within myself to start actually sharing my shit. I'm ready to really hit the industry and make a bit of an impact and start writing about things that affect me, affect my black brothers and sisters, those who suffer with anxiety, depression. It's important that people can have a voice in music to relate to for deeper and darker issues and issues that people don't want to talk about. Yeah, I feel like that's what I'm excited and ready to do in my music. Yes, people, I've been Thaxxter, and this has been my deconstruction of my new single called Mind What You See, out now.